Hello, I'm David Bull.
And I'm Kate Sanderson.
And welcome to Watchdog Health Check. We are live from Television Centre. This evening, we investigate the NHS in a state of emergency. But as always, this is your show, so you can call us. The number is 0870 010 7070, or you can email. Yes, I've got a computer, will travel. The address, as usual, is www.bbc.co.uk/watchdog, and then you hit the Contact Us button. We are live. It is just 7:30 or thereabouts. Really, we are live, so get in touch, and we'll be reading out exactly what you have to say later in the show. I've been working up a sweat all day because I've been trying to get a perfect body, because tonight's programme is all about the body beautiful. Tonight, we look at the very serious consequences of alcohol abuse. As a nation, we're drinking more than ever before, and it's costing the NHS an estimated £3 billion every year. Tonight, we talk to a teenager with a life-threatening condition caused by drink. Watchdog has obtained these extraordinary confidential documents in which Claims Direct salesmen have admitted, and I quote, committing fraudulent acts upon an unwitting public. And in this letter sent to police, a Claims Direct salesman admits he misled his client and may even have committed a criminal act. If you don't already have Windows 98 or the Millennium Edition, then it will set you back £179.99. Even if you do, then it will still cost you £89.99 for the upgrade. Then, once you've parted with your dosh, all you have to do is sit back, relax, and install it. The easy bit. On the Windows XP box, it says, experience more than you ever thought was possible. Well, Alison Bedard here has certainly experienced more than she ever thought was possible, because after installing XP, she promptly lost valuable data, had problems connecting to the internet, and now she has to download even more software to make her computer work as it used to. This pattern of events is remarkably similar to what we found in 1999. So, once again, we've decided to go undercover and investigate. So, is it just a question of paying more money for a better service? Or is it time to change the system? Well, joining me now is John Appleby. He's from the King's Fund, an independent charity promoting better healthcare. Two girls there, two different cases. One story in Britain where she has to rely on charity, one in France where it's paid for by the state. The question in the film, is it all about money, or shouldn't we adopt some of those French systems? Well,
I thought it was a very interesting film, and I think the thing that struck me was the end with the amount of money, the sheer amount of money that they're spending in France. And that has to be an important factor in their better healthcare system. When I was in France, one of the things that impressed me was the way that you pay for your treatment, you claim it back, and therefore you don't waste doctors' time. You really only go to see them when you're ill. And there is a huge problem in Britain with people wasting doctors' time. There is. It's actually very difficult to do these international comparisons and compare France with Britain. In fact, the French system of collecting the money is actually quite bureaucratic. Well, tonight, East Kent Health Authority, which covers Canterbury, says the ambulance service has been beefed up, and paramedics have had extra training for treating patients en route to new hospitals. On arrival, the authority says emergency patients will get the best medical care. Well, Steve Thornton joins me now. Thank you for coming in. How can you justify closing all these accident and emergency departments when people have to travel 20, 30 miles at a time when time is absolutely vital?
Well, it's difficult to generalise, and of course each particular local circumstance needs to be looked into, but in general I think one can justify that kind of closure and change of service simply because it's thought these days that, if you like, the traditional A&E department doesn't offer optimum care for patients. You see, about two-thirds...
How can you answer the John Jones story? His widow believes that he would be alive if Kidderminster Hospital was still open. Is that acceptable?
In cases like that, the critically important thing is getting to the patient very quickly.
Just have to stop you for a minute. It's very difficult to treat someone in an ambulance. I've done
it. Indeed it is.
Kate? Well, tonight the Department of Health said that health providers and social services need to work together more closely. Rehabilitation and halfway houses for older people are being considered as ways of solving the problem of bed blocking. Well, joining me now is Dr. Liam Fox, MP, Shadow Health Secretary. Thank you for coming in.
Pleasure.
The British Medical Association have told Health Check today that this is a national crisis. Would you agree?
I would, and it's been a crisis that's been evolving for some time, and we've been warning about this
and ministers have failed to take any action.
How can you justify not having a national screening programme for a disease that kills 10,000 men in this country?
Well, first of all, I think we need to differentiate between a routine screening programme where we actively write out to men in the population, inviting them in for screening, and making PSA testing available. There is no firm evidence that a routine screening programme would save lives.
Equally, though, there's no evidence that a routine screening programme wouldn't save lives.
Precisely, which is why we believe this is a matter of individual choice.
That's a very hard line to follow, given that someone like Doug Davison from that film says, you know, if I hadn't had that test, I'd be dead. What about Roy Hession as well? He says his tumour is incurable, it's too late. That's a high price to pay, isn't it?
Well, I think precisely.
Eric Appleby, we heard in the film, younger and younger people are drinking, they're drinking more, some of the highest levels across Europe. Why? Who's responsible for this?
Well, I think this country, we've always had a binge drinking culture. Young people are doing things earlier, they're doing more of it. I think the biggest problem is that we're actually encouraging this now, we're making it easier.
Do you think your marketing is responsible?
No, I don't think so. What marketing does, what advertising does...
You don't think it's responsible?
No, what it does is it actually provides people with choice.
Can I ask you very quickly, Tony Blair yesterday said that he will sort out the NHS by the next election or we should vote him out. Will he do it?
I think he'll get partly there. It's a long haul.
Yes or no?
Well, I'll go for yes.
John Appleby, thank you very much. My mission, though, is serious. Well, it's now reached that time where I'm supposed to drink my own urine. But before I do, I thought I'd tell you about the history. Pioneered in the UK in the 1930s by an Englishman, and now many celebrities...
Get on with it.
You're right. Here goes. Well, Dr. George Lewis is still here. I have to tell you, I didn't drink my own urine.
Oh, perfect!
I was joking!
Oh, perfect!
I really was. I was joking. I was... Go away. Now, the lovely Susie Perry has been taking more expert advice this week. She's back with more sound advice on men's health. Now, back in January, we reported on OK magazine and their coverage of Madonna's marriage to Guy Ritchie. OK promised a wedding souvenir special. Readers were offered the exclusive chance to get a glimpse of the beautiful dress and the romantic ceremony. But when you looked inside, were there any pictures of the wedding ceremony?
Were there? No.
And were there any photos of Madonna's wedding dress?
No.
Well, a result, because following our item, Warwickshire Trading Standards prosecuted OK magazine for misleading their readers. Deborah commissioned this report from an independent upholstery expert. 8 faults were found with her suite. Now she just wants to get rid of it and get her money back. But she hasn't heard from DFS since November.
Thanks, Dave. Stuffing?
Stuffing?
Yes.
Next, love. It makes the world go round, or so they say. It makes your heart skip and the sun shine. Anyway, it's a scientific fact that love can also make you live longer and can even help people fight life-threatening illnesses. The very glamorous Angela Rippon reports. So now I know what they mean by the luck of the Irish. This is David O'Bull in Dublin. Cheers. Lots coming in. Kerry, you don't give a surname here. You say you've got chronic back pain and you've received acupuncture on the NHS and you'd recommend it to any pain sufferer. Well, that's good news. Also, this is from Alan Shepherd, who says he's been taking alternative remedies for 10 years. You'll love this one. He says he hasn't been to the doctors since.
I'm keeping very quiet.
I know. Also, loads of other stuff. People saying they've had reflexology for ME and said acupuncture has been quite good for that as well. And people should embrace this more and more. So there you go.
I'm smiling and keeping very quiet.
Now, if you want more details or information on complementary or alternative medicine, then you can call the BBC Action Line. The number is 08000 92 62 42. US airspace has now opened. We've spoken to other airlines. They're all saying that the same. They want to get their transatlantic flights up and ready in the next couple of days. British Airways and BMI both say if you're going to travel before Sunday, you can apply for a refund, but you need to contact the airline direct. Watchdog back tomorrow, always Tuesdays from now on. Health Check next week. Next on BBC One, EastEnders.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.